Hello, everybody, and welcome back to LARPs and TARPs. That's right, I have finally returned from deepest, darkest London.
What a cesspit.
We are here to continue the coverage of Empire E2 Part 2. I am joined by four wonderful hosts. I'm joined by Tom.
Only Tom.
The only Tom.
The only Tom. Yeah.
Tom, Kerry, Alex, and Chloe, as usual.
Hooray.
Hello.
Hi.
How did you guys do without me? Was everything all right?
Yeah, I think it went well.
I think it was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Big improvement.
It's easier for Alex to edit.
Yeah, no, yeah, Val, I was busy.
Oh yeah, we didn't go off book at all.
I didn't have to cut out all of your terrible remarks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sneezing.
And just farting.
I was busy sorting out the situation with lapping our arse off.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
crowbar.
Yeah.
How are the kneecaps?
I think the less said about that, the better. But
Not
yeah.
incriminating.
I'm sure they'll cover that on their podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you'll hear about it soon. But yeah. So where did you guys get to?
Saturday, like late afternoon-ish.
Pre-evening.
I'd say. Pre-evening, yeah.
Evening. That's a new one.
Do you want to run through what you got up to previous to this?
Yeah,
Right,
fire,
okay.
quick
Give me-
fire round.
How long have I got? Give me the time.
You've got
20 seconds.
Previously, or more than that.
I reckon 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay.
I arrived in Anvil, walking in after fighting the cold sun in Miaren. There are only two armies left now, one in Miaren, one in Hanmark. Marched in with Juniper from House Defrost and with Sol. Made our way into Dawn, and as I made my way into Dawn, I saw a good friend of mine dressing in his armor, and he said, "Tristan, I've got something to tell you." I said, "What?" He says, "You're leading a skirmish in 45 minutes." And I
What
went,
a treat.
"Oh, okay, excellent."
Do you ever get nervous, about doing a skirmish?
Tom, he's only
right
got
at the
10
time of
minutes.
Timing. I'm just curious.
Yeah, this isn't. You're eating into my time of talking about myself. This is really upsetting. I've never led a skirmish before. I have led one skirmish, but not a big one. And this was. I knew kind of OC before going in. I see Tristan didn't know, and also.
I missed my handle and dipped my fingers in the tea.
You missed your handle.
Fingers in. I just looked at Tom. And he's just, Tom, not looking at you. He was looking at you, and he's just gone. Fingers into the cup. What the fuck have you done?
Grabbed your tea from the inside.
Yeah, like his fingers went in.
How do you even do that?
demonstrate.
It's
Tom,
been
do
a
it.
long couple of days.
We'll stick a little drawing of how Tom grabbed his tea.
Tom, Morgan's trying to talk about himself over here. Can we
Come
just
on.
Sorry, back to
stop interrupting?
Back to me.
the Morgan monologues.
I'll wait for Chloe to recover because she will inevitably choke on her beverage. So we just need to wait for this.
As is tradition.
I have a master's degree.
Not in tea drinking, that's for sure.
So tea, tell me.
Why does it go over?
Because your fingers, his fingers were fully in.
I didn't want to exactly replicate it because I didn't want to get tea everywhere.
Sorry. I'm glad I witnessed that.
We got a bit further before we got derailed.
I reclaimed my time.
Yeah.
Just restart the clock, Alex.
Yeah, interesting RP moment for me as a character for internal reflection because Tristan's always been fairly adamant that yo folk should not lead nobles. So that was an interesting moment because I was on the skirmish. I think that's going to create some interesting conversations with other players that I've spoken to. Anyway, leading a skirmish against a sergeant of the Deadwood Knight who we've spoken about before called the Broken Erin. Very cool fight. I kind of led us all up to the front. We had a good contingent of people at the front who could strike them down to just crumple the start of their line and push in. Worked excellently. Then we identified the Broken Errant. And then me and another character were fighting for the killing blow. So we got to it and both our kind of arms wrapped around each other and we fully grappled at because we'd already discussed we've got a bit of beef. We're trying to wrestle each other's arms out of the way. And as we turned around, we just fully got third-partied. Because someone else took the killing blow and we were like, oh, which was very funny. I got a traumatic wound. Love a traumatic wound. Got that healed.
What a treat.
Oh, this was fun. So now all my battle kit opens down the front, so it's like buckles and clips and stuff. Yeah. Well, what was really fun was being able to, like, when I was getting surgery, actually kind of pull it open, have fake blood on my chest, which was like very, very cool.
I love a bit of fake blood at LARP.
Oh,
Like
it was so
bare
good.
skinned.
Yeah, it was like on my shirt. Well, not on bare skin. It was
No
put on my
nipples at
shirt.
LARP.
No, because it was like I think it's had my entire top off. So just like pull it apart a little bit.
Like-
So it was just
Yeah,
like
your tits
because
out
sometimes
for
it's like
my
here's some
leg.
fake blood on your chainmail. Like that's a lot of rust and doesn't make any sense. But it was cool to have it like actually on me. Then we had the Deadwood Night meeting, which I believe you've spoken about.
Yes. I
Excellent
spoke about it.
news. Where we spoke about going to need some historical research. Some questions had been asked, and we were waiting for answers. Following some stuff about the Deadwood Night, which was very exciting, and I'm hoping it results in some fun little wins of fortune and whatnot. I then had a funeral. I went to the funeral. They read porn at the funeral.
Of course,
Fantastic.
It was a freeborn funeral. So, and then you're not allowed to be sad at a freeborn funeral. So they read some smut and they replaced.
At least it was in character then, and not just people being silly.
Well, exactly, yes. They replaced the names of one of the people in the porn in the smut for the person who died. It was very exciting.
Very respectful.
It was
I
also
like
very
it.
funny because there was a lot of build up to like the good bit, and he was like, "This is ridiculous." It just kept flicking. He's like, "When do they have sex?"
When do they do?
Enough
sex?
foreplay.
It was very good. And then I largely cannot remember what I did in that evening. I probably went to Wise Guys.
Probably.
And I also had a letter in my player pack from Barrion saying, "Sup, I'm not going to be at this summit, but my friend Revel is about, and you're going to go through the Sentinel Gate and go see him. And he's going to give you a reward." Very exciting. Anyway, go to sleep, wake up, battle, yay, fighting the Jotun. Was largely fine. Can't remember much detail at this point. I think it was
One of the battles of all time.
It was one of the battles.
Yeah.
There wasn't any interesting objectives.
No.
It was
It went quite smoothly, didn't it?
yeah. One thing that did. There's a few crushes which are quite exciting. One thing that did happen is there was a herald there when I was catching my breath, and the herald was like, "Have you got any war stories?" I was like, "Yes." So I told this herald a war story, and they were like, "You get all your hero points back. Here's a chewit."
Love it.
Nice.
Excellent.
Nice.
The
encounter.
chirp makes it
Was that
so much better.
Leonin Pavilion?
No, it was just a person.
Okay.
It was just a herald. Was like, "There you go, hero points back on the battlefield."
Nice.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Love
Yeah,
that.
actually on the battlefield, speakers were covered in flames, and they were like, "Tell me a war story." Told it to them, and they're like, "Have your hero points back," and then left after
Nice.
giving me a chewit. And something else happened. Oh yeah, also we were there. The Jotun had organised a retreat. They'd surrendered, and they were backing off. And then one of the heralds came up to me, and they were like, "Why aren't you killing them?" And they're like, "Oh, because they've surrendered." That's boring. Go kill them. I'll give you a reward if you go kill them. I'll pay you. And we
Did
were
you?
like,
Do it.
Wow.
as tempting as it was, they were literally like, "I will give you money if you go kill those Jotun." It was
Yeah, but
very
you're
fun.
not leaguers, so.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "It's boring. This is boring. This isn't war." Very good fun. Battle happened. That's when I went for my rewarding ceremony. So we went through the Sentinel Gate, and we found ourselves in a beautiful glade of the Summer Realm. Revel was sat there in his big old throne, and we had to go through our describe what we did to succeed in the challenge. Much like I did on this podcast, I was very vague about my challenge, and the Revel was like, "I think we'll leave it there." I was like, "Yes, we will." And everyone was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "Never mind." And I was presented with a sword called Darklight,
Fancy.
Badass.
which was very exciting. I'm not going to say what it does because it's a nice surprise when I use it against people. I've got a very fancy sword, which I'm very happy with. And I got a little pin from Barrion, which was nice.
A little treat.
A little treat. It's got a little owl on it. And then also there was two people that got called up to speak to Barrion, to Revel rather. And I was like, "Why are they getting called up but not me?" And they said, "I would like to extend to you the gift of becoming a changeling." I was like, "That's why."
Because you were already a
I already have a
changeling.
changeling. So they did. So we were all the changelings on the bench were going, "One of us, one of us, one of us." So they took the side and got peer pressured into being lineaged.
But just for.
No, they're now permanently changelings.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
They drunk some magic cider and now they're permanently changelings.
Oh.
It was very funny. And then what else happened? Oh yeah, and then I presented Barry with a flower code because I had to give him a flower that meant friendship. So I gave him a code. I was like, "This is yours now, and here's a flower of friendship." And Revel looked at me like, "It's very presumptuous. Thank you," which was very exciting.
What did it mean?
Sorry,
Friendship.
Friendship.
I gave him a flower that meant friendship.
What colour is it? Sorry.
Oh, you find out in play.
Well, I won't.
It's
Tristan's
spoilers.
It's
for-
spoilers.
Tristan's never going to give Neve a
It's
rose.
but no, this is specifically. I gave Barry a flower code for himself. So if Barion's house now has a flower code that it didn't have before because I've given it to him. So now they have their own special flower code that I've
That's
given
kind
to
of
them.
cool.
Like,
Yeah.
for example, me and the Jackdaws took pink from Core Draco as threatening. It wasn't threatening, but
So I'm gonna now.
Part of the
I'm
fun.
now gonna give Revel flowers when I see him that mean
Yeah.
things, which is very fun. What else happened? Oh, some troubadours arrived, which was cool. To talk about Deadwood Night. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit in the tent. Then I went on a Valorn skirmish.
Ooh. Oh.
Went on this Valorn skirmish, and as we were going on, I realised I hadn't put my van braces on. And I was chatting to a woman next to me, and she goes, "Oh, I've got one. Do you want to use this? Do you want to use mine?" I was like, "Oh, I can't take it off you." They're like, yeah, no, go on, it's fine, take it. Just if I die, give it back to my earl. And I kind of chuckled. And obviously put it on. Dornish Hearth magic is when you gird, because you gird as people, so you can gird as personalities, and it can be a part of you. So it's very important Hearth magic, and also it's kind of like a favor, like giving something to someone to help in a battle. So it's very cool, like bit of Hearth magic.
Yeah.
Fast forward about 15 to 20 minutes, and we've killed loads of Valorn. We were trying to find something, but we couldn't find it, and we started to retreat. And as we're retreating, she takes a cleave to the chest,
oh no.
thunk, and just goes down. And she's the last person in the line. So I step forward and put my shield over. I've done this so many times. Shield over the top, stay with me, trying to get them back up again. And they kept trying to get up, and then they kept getting hit and going down again. I was screaming. I had someone next to me trying to heal, and I had her hand in my hand. Literally, it was like the arm that had the bracer on was in her hand, ripped from it as someone pulled me away from her, and we got dragged off, and then she died.
That's
Drama.
wild.
I was like, what? And we came off, and I was like talk to someone from their house afterwards. I was like, that was fuck.
Yeah.
And then we came off, and he was barely holding it together, and I passed him the bracer, and he just broke down.
Oh no.
And it was such
Emotional
like
damage.
it was such a good moment. It was awful. Like honestly, it created like a lot of RP after that.
Yeah.
I had like some good
Yeah.
moments with their house and stuff. But yeah, really cool moment. So that was the end of my Valorn skirmish, and that hopefully brings us up to
Yeah, I mean, last thing I talked about, I think, was the Troubadour meeting.
perfect.
So,
Excellent.
yeah.
And that was Morgan's Friday and Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, so the next thing I did really in the Saturday was I was waiting around for like the big warding that we do once a year, you know, the transition from the wolves from one person to another person. So Twig was there as we were all gathering around, and they didn't want to give the wolves away, and they tried to run away. I think it's because it was going into a young girl.
I think Twig just secretly enjoys having the wolves and all the chaos it brings.
No, though actually just before the big warding, I was waiting around with Twig, and the Brass Coast came through with like a big rope around like a crowd of people saying, "This is the Kraken, we're on a ship." And then we jumped on it for a second, then Twig refused a free grape, and someone was like, "They're refusing hospitality, it's a wolf," and we both ran away. And Navarre came through as well, doing their "It's spring." So then Twig had a tug of war match with Navarre, and Varushka won. Varushka. But then, yeah, the big warding, as I've been referring to it. Sorry, that's most likely the wrong term.
Oh, wait, yeah, it's the chasing of the wolves, right?
Yeah, it's the chasing of the wolves. Yeah, so as what that is, basically, for anyone who doesn't know, is it's basically like warding, but we're meant to go around the whole of Anvil, I believe, but we didn't. I think maybe because of the mud. So it wasn't as safe, or it would take longer, to trek through the mud. But basically, there was about 5 or 6 people who were wolves, or the wolves were in them whilst we were going around. and they'd like come and try and like lure us away from the group, and we'd have to shake our instruments at them and then go away, yeah. And it was really fun. And we were all wearing animal masks, so I had my beak on,
Your little honk.
my little honk beak. I was like honking at people and
I
shaking
loved
my
your-
tambourine.
I loved your beak.
It was so much fun. And then everyone else was wearing, or loads of other people were wearing animal masks of different kinds to represent the different virtues. They usually have like a big Zoria puppet, but it wasn't safe enough to carry that around.
No, that's a
so
shame.
instead, one of the people I know, OC in Varushka, ended up having to dress up as Zoria and had like the giant hands from the puppet that people had to puppeteer and walk alongside her,
Nice.
which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. And then like getting round to Varushka, like I'm here being a silly little goose having lots of fun, and then we get back into Varushka and the people who are the wolves can't come in, and this girl is like crying, so like, you don't know what it's like. It's like really dramatic, and I'm there like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be having such a good time. This is actually pretty traumatic. But no, she was really good role play. And that was who the wolves have now gone into after Twig. And you know, it was a really cool moment. It's really nice to finally found a nation where I'm like invested in like the
Yeah.
culture for it.
Again, we've said this already, I think, but you do seem to have really hit your stride in
yeah.
Varushka.
Absolutely. I think as much as I keep saying like new nation every year, like I think I've done that enough. I found my nation. I'm gonna stay with Radka. I
For
can't-
more than a year?
Maybe. Well, the thing is, I can't imagine retiring Radka.
Yeah.
So I might start taking the battlefield. And then if she dies, then that would be my opportunity to move to a new character. But, you know, let's see how much I actually... Because I always say, oh, I might monster. And then I've monstered once and I've never actually fought. So I don't know if I actually would take the battlefield. But I can't see myself retiring Radka. Even though Hens is moving to the Jackdaws and my dad will be transferring his character to the League.
You're still going to need Varushka.
I'll still be their token Varushkan. I'm just because I know a couple of the people, a few more people in Varushka OC than I actually do IC. I've been speaking to them and I'm like, look, I need to come over, like, because I don't know all their group, but they were like, no, we'll grab you, we'll bring you over. It won't be awkward. Just come and have a drink with us. You get to know them, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, once I've started talking to them, I'm sure it'll be fine. But the idea of going to a group of people that you predominantly don't know is always a bit intimidating.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. What about everyone else? This was I want to say around 7 o'clock, probably 8 o'clock, maybe. So, anyone else doing anything at that time or before?
Well, yeah. So before, I'd probably say, so we had been bumped from our skirmish. We had missed the Prince of the Reaper's wedding because
Yeah.
of this skirmish. Yeah, so we kind of like chilling around camp, and I had some shenanigans to be doing. So I'm sure for people that have listened for a while already know about Neve and Murdoch's little
Rivalry.
back and forth. But for anybody that doesn't, my character and our friend Oily's character Murdoch have a little prank war going. It's slowly been, I say slowly, it's very rapidly been escalating, and it was my event to get Oily back. So a couple of the guys in the group had agreed to help me. So after last event, which he got Twilight Masquerade cast on Neve, so she was a changeling for the entire event, which it took me like a good solid half day to realise what had
what
happened.
was happening? You just thought you were wearing the antlers for aesthetic.
Honestly, it didn't twig until someone else said it, and it was just, yeah. Anyway, so we got back after last event. We got back probably, half midnight at night. So, you know, we slept a lot into Monday, but by 5 o'clock on Monday, I had this all planned out with the people ready to go. Like, I was prepared for this. So I had to get some mana in my downtime and some in play. We had to have a potion made and whatever. And then we had to go to the Regio. So Dylan, who plays Ronan, was there and he was doing a ritual to curse Murdoch. So we were like, we need to do this. Like, this is the only time that we've kind of got to do it, because we've got stuff later tonight. This is the only time by the time that we've queued up, and we need to get it done now. So we had this plan that Ronan, myself, and someone else, we were kind of working this out. We're all going to go up, and then whoever the third person we were with is, because that changed a few times, was going to run back to camp and be like, They've picked a fight with Siaka Heralds up at the Regio. They need healing. Like,
Murdoch, come now
type thing. The plan had kind of changed or whatever, and we were stood in the queue, and it was myself, Ronan, and Corin. And I was really panicking about the timing, because when the curse gets cast, you've got 15 minutes to deliver the curse until it backfires onto you. So Dylan was like, I am not having this cast on me whatsoever. So I was like, oh, well, if we don't get him in time, then just cast it on me, I can deal with it. And he was like, oh, that was always my plan. I was like, right, cool.
Right, thank you for that,
okay, fine, fair.
I really enjoyed that mechanic. I think it's really fun that it's like, it makes the cursing like risky. Like it's like this could, I quite enjoy that mechanic.
Cursing's got to be risky, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
For like what it is.
Yeah.
So George, who plays Corin, had gone back to camp, and I hadn't realised it had gone, and I was like, I looked at Dill, because we weren't kind of in character at this point, because we were kind of talking about how it's all going to go down. I was like, where's George? He was like, oh, he's gone to go get Murdoch. And I was like, there's still two more people in the queue before us. I was like, what's going on? And Dill was just like, don't worry, it'll be fine, we'll have enough time. And I'm like, I don't think we will, and I was panicking. And so obviously I wasn't at camp, so I don't know how it went down at camp. So what was it like there?
So meanwhile, at the Dreadshields camp in Navarre, we weren't sure, as you say, like who was going to run in and say that something had happened to Dylan. But Corin turned up, out of breath, panting, went straight over to Oily, and once they caught their breath, was like, Dylan's been, I think it was attacked by Siaka Heralds.
Yeah.
Or he's been cleaved, or his legs hanging up or something. We need support. And there was me and a few other Dreadshields back at camp. It's been a while now, I can't remember who exactly. But we were like, we're going to have to try and...
I know Bastard was there.
Bastard was there, yeah. Yeah. So we were like, right, we're going to try and have to figure out a way to get Murdoch running up there. But that was all he needed. That was all the incentive he needed, finding out that Dylan had been like a little bit cleaved.
Bless him and his loyalty.
I know.
Yeah.
And he was not rewarded for it.
No. So straight away, Oily was just like, right, and his little kilt just started sprinting. So then we were keeping up pace with Oily because he was going so quickly.
And remember that it was muddy as fuck and slippy and squelchy.
No, he was sprinting, and we
imagine if he'd fallen in the mud a few times and got there, and and then only to be cursed. Like,
oh god, yeah. So we were running behind him, and I caught up to him at one point, and I was like, just trying to like lay it on a bit thick and say like, what the hell happened? What? And Oily was saying like, why are there Siaka Heralds in Anvil? All the time. And I was like,
question also, why would they not go to the hospital?
None of these things make any sense.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not even sure what they are, Oily, but we better go help. Or Murdoch. So yeah, kept running, and then I think we just stopped briefly because we were all massively out of breath for like a few seconds when we went through a really muddy bit, and then again the sprinting started and we carried on, and then we got there, and I saw, and I think Bastard must have seen, Big Bastard as well must have seen that you guys weren't ready yet, because there was just Chloe's and Dylan's head popping up near the Regio next to the ref tent.
We were trying to hide so you couldn't see us.
Yeah, and you both looked really panicked and were shaking your heads, and I was like, shit, it's not ready yet. And then on cue, Big Bastard just dropped to the floor and started, because he's an actor as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think. And it really came across, his RP was amazing. And he started rolling around on the ground, screaming like he'd been possessed. And he was saying really funny stuff, because obviously Little Bastard just spends a ridiculous amount of money on useless shit. And he was rolling around like as though he was having these visions, like, you've got to stop him buying so much useless shit.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was so funny.
so was this like just before the Regio?
No, this was next to the Regio.
Yeah, this was
we
right
were
in
just
the middle.
distract Oily for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
so Oily was then tending to Bastard, saying, "Where's Dylan?" And I had to pretend, "Where's Ronan?" And I had to pretend that I hadn't seen him. So I was like, "I don't know, but we definitely need to focus on Big Bastard. This looks serious."
So we were taking a bit longer in the queue because basically there was just a couple of things that were going on, and like we were waiting for a particular ref that was in the Regio, because there were two in there, but one of them couldn't do it, so the other one had to. and we were waiting for him to become free, and the people in front of us were going through some stuff and whatever. And then I peeked in, and I was like, because he was like, "Oh, just hang on for me." And then those people finally came out. I was like, right, but the person we need to curse is outside now, and he needs to not see us because we won't be able to find him otherwise. And the ref looked at me, he was like, right, fine. He was like, forget the RP, just do what you need to do, and then come back and do the RP and the rego afterwards.
Oh, that was nice.
And I was like, king.
Sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this
So-
went on for like a fair few minutes. So Big Bastard had to
I
keep
think Big
up.
Bastard did the
Yeah.
RP for
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
He had to keep up. So as soon as like Murdoch got him to a point where he was slightly healed and he was starting to rest and get his breath back, he'd then pipe up all over again and start screaming and shouting and rolling around on the ground, and we were like holding his legs
was
down.
Murdoch using actual like resources to heal Big Bastard?
I think so, yeah.
God.
I mean, I kept looking over my shoulder to see what was going on, but as that was happening, a ref walked up to us, stood directly next to a Murdoch where he was on the ground, turned to me and someone else and said, "So do you want to do the curse here, or where are we cursing this person?"
Oh my goodness.
And I was,
did he?
Yeah, and I was like, shush. So it kind of like dragged his attention away and was like, "We're cursing them." Like that. And he was like, oh okay. And then, yeah, luckily, just as Bastard was, I think, slightly out of puff and Murdoch had managed to heal him, a very cheeky looking Neve and Ronan came around the corner.
So we had like made the potion. Well, we had the potion made. We'd done it all, and like Dill had like necked it, and like we just beelined it for Oily.
Murdoch, yeah.
Yeah. And so he had like blood on his hand and like put it on his face and on him. It was like, I can't even remember what he said, but it was just like said about it. It was like, "Oh, I think you're feeling a little bit cold. There's a little withering touch of frost that's
Chilling at your bones.
that's gone through you." And he was just like, "What? What?
What?
Like, excuse me?" And yeah, we were like, "Oh, I'm afraid you're cursed now, Murdoch, mate." Like, that's whatever.
So
And then the
funny.
ref obviously pulled us to the side and was like, "Okay, so what's your PID? Like, what is the curse?" And then the ref read out the RP effects to Oily.
Yeah.
And his face just turned like wide-eyed, like, "Excuse me?" Like, just looked at me like, "Okay." He was there like, "Okay, all right." Like, sure.
Ooh, oh god, I can't wait to see what he does to you now.
Oh,
No, because I'm not really worried about this, but we'll get to this and I'll finish this up in a sec.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a point when we were at camp, and obviously Murdoch's got a lot of connections, especially with the Reapers.
Yeah.
And Radic was sat at our camp, and he handed me his dagger, and he was like, "Neve, what does it say on that dagger there?" I was like, "It says you reap what you sow." He was like, "Yeah, I've had a nice long chat with Murdoch." And I was like,
Oh, that's intimidating.
I love how well Joe plays Radic. Just
Yeah.
the threatening undertones and the
Radic is like
seriousness.
really lovely, but again, it's like,
Yeah.
I will make you
I've not
regret
seen that
Yeah.
side of it.
ever even thinking of crossing someone
we've-
like Kev.
We've had a bit of a chat because I was like, I know you've got loyalty to Murdoch. He's like, "No, I've got loyalty to money." And I was like, yeah, that was going to be my next thing. I know you've got loyalty to Murdoch, but you've got loyalty to money and a contract, moreover. So we'll talk prices next time.
So basically, Alex is going to pay to get you off the hook.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Gotta get selling them
Sugar Daddy
snags.
Otis.
Gotta get selling them meads.
But anyway, in a nutshell,
That's so funny because I was trying to remember to like say, "Oh, you look chilly, Murdoch." Like the whole day, I kept forgetting until he was
Yeah.
like unarmoring on Sunday. And I was like, "Well, you sure you want to take that off, mate? You look a
Yeah.
bit chilly."
so
I saw him come over to me later on from the Sentinel game. Just go,
oh, fantastic,
Yes.
fantastic. I'm glad. But yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, Withering Touch of Frost is a curse that it has some effects on like herb gardens or whatever else.
Yeah, which
but,
isn't his resource anyway. Yeah,
But
I used to like
For the-
watching the Touch of Frost with David Jason.
Tom.
Just the thing. It just
Right,
reminded me.
Sorry, the effects of this curse, Chloe.
how's your dry doing?
so
Oh, Kerry's
I
fixed the
rewinded
dryer.
the plug. Sorry.
My white goods are healthy once more. Oh, the landlord also fixed the sink today.
Sorry,
Hey.
sorry, Chloe. I
We had a
fully
new
expected
shower
to laugh
plan.
and move on. I'm so sorry. I thought I expected. Sorry.
it's cool. I was just
Carry on.
thinking about where Alex is going to cut it out.
I'm leaving it in. White goods is top content.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think people listen?
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so it affects your resources, like herb garden or whatever, but the RP effects are basically you feel very chilly and very cold unless you are actively warming yourself next to a fire, and it lasts for an entire year. So
It'd be fun if there's a heat wave next event.
for the next year, Murdoch is going to be a very chilly little guy, as well as having little guy tattooed on his soul. Oh,
Amazing.
Brilliant.
anyway, so yes, that is the latest installment in the Murdoch Neve saga, and I've chatted for a very long time, so sorry, people.
No, it was
It's
a great
enjoyable.
story. I loved that. Yeah, I didn't realize how close it was, and that ref coming over and
Oh,
really giving the
God.
game
Like
away.
I was actually shaking, panicking. I was like, we don't have time. Deal. It's not gonna work. We don't have enough time. And he was like, it's fine, don't worry. And then it wasn't fine. I was like, I told you. And he looked at me and went, shit.
A little round of applause for Bastard as well for
Yeah.
pulling that out of his ass. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Corin as well.
Yeah. Well done, all
the
of you.
panicked acting. But no, that was absolutely incredible. I think shortly after Murdoch was like, fuck all of you, I don't need this shit, and walked into some tent to be near a fire. I don't even think they walked back to camp with us. That miffed, I see.
That's beautiful.
So that was our afternoon. We had some other things going on in the evening, but we'll let
Yeah.
someone else take
Did
the
you do
floor.
anything around this time, Tom?
Yes, I went on a skirmish, and I hate to say the words, I can't talk about it because it was classified.
Ooh.
Yes, all I can say is Bertie, one of my jackdaws, went not down, not once, but twice, with 10 seconds left on the bleed counter.
Sure, that wasn't a sign of anything to come.
That wasn't a sign of anything to come. Very fun skirmish. I got to wear blue, which was fun. Because there was disguises involved. Adam saw Colwyn came, was like, oh, Nietzsche, you need a disguise, and just threw this big blue tarp over me. So I'm like,
Tarp content. Tarp content.
in my armor, looking like a little Russian old lady, like covering myself up.
Babushka.
That was a lot of fun. Going into the evening, invited to go to the League National Block meeting, which we're meant to go to because we're employed by them. But the Reapers had told me there was a drink your bar dry tab on Wise Guys for House Mortaire, and how could I resist such an invitation? Yeah, lots of good drinks. I pretty much got on the Reapers tab because I am Reaper subcontractor, it seems.
He said it.
I said it. And to really seal the deal, and because Callum's such a good guy and wants to give game, Benno the fucking Carver have hired the Jackdaws. And do you want a drum roll for the grand price that the Jackdaws sell for? I am proud. We have underslashed what I thought were the low prices of Black Scar. A whole merc company for the bargain price of 2 thrones.
Jesus Christ.
And another really good thing, which is the Reaper Prince has promised to go with us to a big hall with a lot of money and vouch for the Jackdaws to get us a contract next year.
Hell yeah.
So that is actually a good part of the deal. So we are going to be under the command, not of the Reapers, but of Benno the fucking Carver next season. And one of the conditions is because Benno's illiterate, Modesto has to go up to him and read him his morning paper.
Incredible.
So that was a lot of fun. And finally, enjoying my drinks at the bar, having a nice, well-earned evening off. Narciso and Modesto go to a wedding. About half an hour after they left, they come running back to me high as fuck, saying, Nietzsche, the spiders are eating our coin. They're all over our coin purses. They're all eating them. Yeah, they were high off their tits on Goose Whisper.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
not an effective goose whisper.
No, they saw visions of
I
spiders
see.
eating their coin and tearing people down and all sorts like that. It
I love
sounded like
goose whisper visions.
Yeah.
It sounded like a good vision. Not
it-
for Chloe.
Was it just our halogen fucking deciding they're sick of our shit? And like, fuck it.
Could be.
I love how you're in the nation that simps for our halogen and you
Yeah.
fucking hate spiders.
It is the wildest thing. Because it's really funny because, like, Soph, who plays Alwyn in our camp, she fucking loves our halogen. She's like, such cool thing. Like, Spider Daddy, absolutely love him. He's so fucking weird. And I'm
Why
just like,
did Daddy?
Why do we have to parentalize Eternals? Everyone's got daddy issues, I swear to God.
I've never seen this. thing.
There's
halogen,
big
you
bit. There's
wouldn't unless
Bear
you're in a-
Mommy, who is
Is there Mushroom
Catherine
Daddy?
Kinnaid. I've never heard anyone refer to Lothier as Mushroom Daddy. People have got problems. He's a network of fungus, and that is it. What is?
No one's actually said that. I was joking.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Why
You
are
might
you
say
Arthur
just
so
to wind you
horny?
People simp for Siaka. I really don't get the spider made of centipedes, motherfucker. Why are people hot for that? I just don't get
I don't
it.
think people are hot. Like, does referring to something as daddy mean that, like necessarily?
It doesn't. But
Surely
it
it's
does,
just a joke,
It
right?
doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say yeah.
It's just like,
Let's say yeah.
yeah,
No
okay, yeah.
smoke
I'm gonna say
without
yeah.
fire.
Yeah. Let's say it's a fact. All fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, the final thing, I got a gift from the Reaper Prince as well, which I'll treasure forever. I got a Reaper skull mask.
Oh,
So I can play around with that with my heart's content next season.
excellent.
What shenanigans shall I pull?
What chicanery shall occur?
Oh, will I be a cheeky little guy or will I be a spooky little guy? Who knows?
Either way, you will be small and you will be a guy.
Most certainly. Unless a Siaka hair bites off my dick.
Yeah, that happened to someone.
What?
Not a-
Someone told me that happened to them.
Horrific.
How would you roleplay that?
oh, wow. Into
Oh, my
Sunday.
penis! Something like that.
Yeah.
All I did for the rest of Saturday, of note, was the Ember Crawl, which you guys also went on.
Woo-hoo.
Whoop, whoop.
Big
Oh,
shout out
yeah.
to Embercast.
Yeah. Thank you for
We-
letting a random Russian tag along.
We had a lot of cool RP with them that weekend.
Yeah.
And we've made like a lot of roads in like a relationship between our two sort of groups over mutual loves and hates, we'll say. But yeah, no, awesome fucking set of folks.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And it was actually, like we'll talk about this on the Sunday, but it was their healer, Sophie, who Icy plays. I actually did learn their name today and I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. But it's Sophie from the Fancy Nuts podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember their Icy name. I actually learned it today, annoyingly, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, they had a key part for us on Sunday in the battle. I won't give any spoilers, but they were very integral to a very gripping story, which we'll get to.
But no, yeah, it was a great pub crawl. And
It was fantastic, yeah.
I think the highlight was at Star Bar, which is a bar I haven't really been to before.
I thought Star Bar was in a completely
Yeah,
different place.
I thought it was in a different
I think
place.
it used to be in a completely different place.
I thought it
Yeah.
used
I
to
didn't
be
realise
next
that
to
was Star Bar when we were
yeah.
there.
But
I thought
was
it was
it?
next to where Military Council
It was like in the
is.
middle of the Brass Coast on the Brass Coast side of
Yeah.
the hedge, not on the Dawn side.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was on the Dawn side of the hedge.
And they had this giant tent thing.
Yeah, I thought it was next to Military
beautiful.
Council. But
Yeah, and inside it was all like chairs. Some guy's got a chip fryer. I don't know how
wow.
they've hooked up a deep fat fryer.
they were fantastic.
But they were doing
chips.
chips, and we were all pecking at them like a group of drunk, hungry
I
hens.
didn't see that. I was too busy tapping my ukulele.
Oh yeah, and the music there was fantastic. Big
Jimmy
shout out to
Handax.
Jimmy fucking Handax. Is it not Johnny?
No.
Is it just
No,
me
it's just
shouting
Jimmy,
Johnny and
yeah.
everyone else shouting
I think
Jimmy?
so, yeah.
Amazing.
It sounds
Because
like a you thing.
I was playing along with him all the way through the bar crawl as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's the one I've referred to before, doing the Hotel Transylvania, Hotel California spin off.
That's because I told you about the Hotel Transylvania thing.
Adam
but
Sandler's Hotel Transylvania.
Chloe thought
Fantastic
that's
song.
what the song was called.
Yeah. Chloe's definitely crossed my mind. It's not just me being an idiot.
It wasn't until they sang the lyrics Hotel Transylvania and went, hey, hang on, this isn't what they say.
I know at one point because we were playing along with in fact, when we went through Hens on the pub crawl, I played the Hens theme tune and I was shaking because it's not often that I play and sing for groups and it's always terrifying. But no, it was nice.
Had to tell her Kickabayo off at that at Hens.
Oh, did you? Why?
Yeah, because you had paid entertainment, so there was
Oh yeah.
There was the-
no, I know. I saw you tell them off actually. Yeah.
yeah. So there was the Leaguish Kickabayos, Circus Kickabayos, whatever. That they were performing, and then it was someone else that was performing after.
Yeah.
And then, so she performed one song, and then the guy from the Circus Kickabayos just jumped in and started singing. We were like, hang on a
Yeah.
minute, you're not performing.
Yeah. You actually had to tell him no, this isn't an open stage. This is someone else
Yeah.
who booked a slot.
Well, I went up to him and I was like, sorry, are you planning on singing another song? And he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, you've had your performance, haven't you? I was like,
I was like, someone else is actually is paid to perform. And he was like, yeah, I'm paid to perform. And I was like, no, you were paid to perform. You've performed. Now it's someone else's turn.
Yeah.
I was like, so let her finish. And then when she's done, if you want to sing, you can.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, and then took a step back. And then
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh.
But yeah,
it just really pissed me off.
Jimi Hendrix was awesome after. That was a bit later on. Came in and managed to get the whole place dancing.
Yeah.
Like the whole place. And Anna, I think Jake was there.
Yeah, one of your Dread Shields whipped out a guitar as well to play with.
Well, that was, Ferg, that was a massive coincidence because we were heading back to camp and just out of the blue, he was like, I might fancy my guitar. Would you mind picking it up? And we were like, yeah, sure. Because he usually just walks around and has a little play anyway. Reminds me kind of the rooster from the animation Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Fergie. And then just by coincidence, he ended up playing all night, like as part of the band with Jimi Hendrix.
Like Jimmy was like telling him what chords to play, and he was remembering. I was stood there with my tambourine, like I really should be bolder with my music, but I'll just be percussion in the background.
Yeah.
But no, it was amazing. Like I loved Jimmy's great. Like at one point we were like stood around at one of the other bars. And he just started improvising a song about a Navari falling in love with a goose, because obviously I was wearing my goose mask, so I was just honking in between the lines and banging my tambourine. It was so funny.
And it was really cool to see. I think it was one of Anna and Steve's friends. It was their first time.
Kyle,
that was it. And to see them like dancing, having a great time and everything, I was like, yes, because you love seeing people who it's their first time at Anvil, which obviously can be quite scary for anyone.
Yeah,
just getting stuck in and having a fantastic time. But yeah, it was lots of drinking, lots of partying. It was raining a little bit, but that didn't seem to dampen the mood whatsoever. We were all just boogieing the entire night.
It was brilliant. Yeah. Best pub crawl I've been on. Did you do anything else?
Yeah, I did quite a bit. And had a very traumatic evening.
Oh, no.
Trauma in your life.
I know. First bit was lovely because it was the Rashield Art Festival. So Rashield was an empress of the empire. And we have an arts festival in her name, which is very fun, so everybody can contribute. There were some beautiful paintings, there was poems, there was singing. It was very nice. Sol told a poem about the relationship between two yo folk, like when one passes their test of metal, and that kind of shift in what they're like, which was a very, very apt to the kind of friendship kind of journey we're about to go on after Tristan passes his test, which was very good. Like, it was a really nice time. Some of the art was amazing. I can't really do it justice, but there's some beautiful songs and poems and stuff. So that was really good fun. Then to kind of fast forward a little bit. So I was asked by the Knight Protector of Spring to try and get involved with a skirmish. Now, not by the Knight Protector of Spring, the Archmage of Spring. It was led by the Knight Protector of Spring. Now, currently in the Spring Realm, there's a bit of a war, if you like, between our Halogen, who we've already spoken about, and Ossigaran, who is like a peace eternal, also known as Rain Dad.
Stop it, LARPers, please.
Lord Rain, Ossigaran, and they love boggarts.
I'm still yet to see a boggart empire.
We've spoken about boggarts before, and basically our Halogen's like, oh, Ossigaran, you like boggarts, do you? You like boggarts? I'm going to fucking kill them. So we had a mission to go save some boggarts from our Halogen heralds.
They're just cheeky little things.
Now, the skirmish we went on, we needed 5 troubadours to sing music to distract the boggarts and then lure them to a regio for them to teleport back to the Spring Realm whilst we defended them for our Halogen heralds. So we had 5 troubadours, including Sol, and then 15 fighters. And we go through it, and they spent some time working out what the song was going to be. And the song was, go, let's go to the regio, play, let's play, in the land of Papa Rain. So they were like singing this before we went through.
That's cute.
Anyway, we go through the regio, and we get out the other side of the gate, and we see a boggart looking at us, and they have like little moss on their faces and little antlers and stuff. Like, huh? And springing out of the bush is an Halogen herald, knocks them to the floor, slits their throat, and runs off. Because the plan was to be sneaky, but we were like, oh my god. So we like run up the fields to get towards them. And yeah, basically then there was this real contrast of like, go, let's go to the Regio.
Regio.
Quick, get that one. Oh my God, it's entangled me. Like fight.
Let's
Yeah.
play.
And then some of them were like, some of the one that had died, one of the other ones was like quite tall, was just pointing going, what's happened to that one? And they were all like, fine. She's fine. She's really, really fine. And they're like singing to get them to the and it was like, again, these heralds running around and we're fighting them and being sneaky and running in and out. And it was just like this absolute whiplash to be, it was very funny. And there was like,
I saw a picture of the our halogen heralds.
yeah.
Needless
Yeah.
to say, freaked me the
I haven't
fuck
seen it.
out.
They've got like spider faces.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The there's a fantastic picture I need to show you of one of the troubadours. So there's one of the boggarts pointing, going like with their mouth open, like asking what's going on over there, and then he like stood there with a flute, going just at them, just like don't pay attention to that. Listen to my dooting whistle. It was so funny. So we managed to get most of them in, and then we went to the other one that had been killed and cast Voice for the Dead on it. So it allows them to speak for a bit. And they're just like, what's going on? What's happening? Because they'd been killed. And they were really panicked. Like, okay, you're going to go back home now. And there's like dead boggart
Yeah,
on the
what
floor,
happens
like really
to boggarts
panicked.
when they die?
Well, they die, but Viridian cast Turn the Circle, which returns their body to the spring realm. But she was just like, really, so you go back to our cigar and you go back to Lord Ray. And they're like, yeah, okay. Yeah, and obviously they're dead, and then they turn to flowers. And then the Regio was like, we were all in the Regio, like
Crying.
all these bloody heralds are everywhere, and there's a vase sat in the middle, and they have to jump into the vase. Basically, it's like, can we get them in? They keep being like, do we have to go? Yeah, no, all our friends are here. It's like, yes, come on, let's go. Don't panic, everything's fine.
Giving me
Everything's okay.
Watership Down vibes.
So, yeah, it was literally like they were so cute and innocent, but then it was like they were going to get killed, so we had to get them in. I hear the other ones went horrifically. But yes, so that was a wonderful little encounter. We come off, we go to the little Gazar in Brascoast, which had a lean-in pavilion, because we had just another skirmish in about 20 minutes. So we had 15 minutes to go get recharged, and we sit down, and we start.
That's a good place to have a Leon pavilion, like right near the Sentinel Gate in the Brass.
Oh, it's perfect. It's honestly, it was really good. It's prosperity pricing. But yeah,
perfect.
you pay to go in.
What's
so
it
it's really
called?
good.
Leon and
It's
Pavilion.
called the
that's-
Little Kazar.
That's the enchantment.
We're hoping to get the enchantment for the Jackal
Yeah, I
Bar.
was saying
It's
to
expensive, though. Isn't it?
yeah,
It is,
well,
but
with
hopefully
the
people will
with the
pay for
Jack
drinks
Drills.
going through.
It's not. Yeah, if you're a place of business, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
You were going to get it on the hot dog stand, weren't you, when you had it?
Yeah, but the thing is, you're out of the way, so people like you say, like on the Sentinel Gate, it's perfect because people
Yeah.
just pop off because you only really need it if you're going to do loads of successive skirmishes. But anyway, we're sitting there, and then a friend of mine runs over whilst I'm sitting chatting to the Brass Coast Egregore about the adventure we just did. Bloodwolf, one of our friends from Wintermark from Corvin Hall, stood there, panicked, covered in blood. And just looks at me and she goes, "It's a Kia."
Oh, yeah.
So I jump out of my chair and run over, and I'm like, "What happened?" And he just goes, "Cold sun." And then instantly, I was sat with a few of my friends, and Sol was there, and our next skirmish was Cold Sun, and like my face changed, and she was like, Tristan, because it was very much like when shit like this happens, he just kind of loses his
It's cool.
cool and his sense, and it's like, oh, cool.
Like,
Basically,
yeah, overwhelmed.
it was basically like a moment of like, he's gonna die now because he's gonna go on the skirmish and be an absolute lunatic. And it was like we looked at how long we'd been there. We'd been there for 15 minutes, so we went up to the gate and all started queuing to go in on this next skirmish. And yeah, Akira died behind enemy lines, running around, and got turned to ash. So obviously Trista was like,
Do you go through the
Not in a good
labyrinth if you get killed by the cold sun?
I think so.
I,
I don't think
I heard that if you got eaten by Siaka Herald, then you didn't.
that's not true.
Is it not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so. Like there's very few things that tamper with your soul, I think. There's got to. Anyway, we get there, we queue up to go through the gate, and like I'm actually and like quite a few of my friends are there, and they're like, Tristan, don't die, don't lose it. I'm like,
No promises.
yeah, literally. Tristan's response to "don't die" is "I will simply refuse," and I was just like nodded, and then went through the gate, This time we had to protect a ritual that was going on. They had casting a ritual whilst the cold sun were going, and we absolutely stomped it.
Yeah.
Went amazingly, wiped them all out. I think one of the coolest moments was I don't know what you call your magic users in Navarre, but a Navarre magic user was there and had cast Voice for the Dead on one of the heralds. And she was talking to it, and it was going, "You will all burn." And she was like, "When you go back to the Day Realm, I want you to bring with you a message. We defeated you today. You are not perfect. You are flawed. We are better than you, and we're coming for you." And then ended the ritual. I was like, "Oh, that was so cool." I was like, "That was so cool."
Damn, people be good RP.
Yeah, man. Really good skirmish. Went really well. Absolutely smashed it. I think some people died, and they had a smoke machine when people got turned to ash.
Oh,
Like
that's cool.
smoke was drifting
cool.
over the field.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Came off that skirmish on like not a high, but like feeling better, taking my revenge. I was naming people I'd lost to the cold sun as I executed the heralds. It was very good, very fun, very dramatic. Came back through, still not, still like, right, okay, go back out again. Someone had sent someone up to check on me, and they're like, "Are you going out again?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, are you okay?" I was like, "Mm-hmm." It was a lot. Go through the gate again. Get quite far up the field. Very different story. They just push us back. And as we're getting pushed back to the gate, someone I brought with me through to do my Barrion challenge, the summit before, it was called Finn. Someone goes, "Where's Finn?" And we're looking around. He's from House Meliori, wears purple and white. And he's like 50 meters on the ground.
Shit.
No.
And like his Earl is with us. And he's like, basically, we're getting pushed out the gate. People have run through already.
Yeah.
He's screaming, "Finn!" Like trying to get to but everyone was dragging him out of the Sentinel gate. There's like the bodies littered the field.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I don't know if it should be fine. Hopefully, because I want to say it because that's some of the coolest last words from a character I've ever heard. Because loads of people were begging to be sent through the gate to the heralds because they wanted to see people before they died. And the herald turned to Finn, and Finn just looked at him and went, "I'm not going to fucking beg." And then got turned to ash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, that's
badass.
so cool." But yeah, then I was traumatized again. Like two people in the space of 45 minutes dead to cold sun.
Shit.
So that was, absolutely fantastic. That was... I know I did more stuff on that evening. Mostly consoling myself. Kept going up to pee. Oh, God. So obviously... I can't cry on command, but I can get emotional sometimes. But I have like a durable aura on me. Oh. So does Tristan, so I can draw on that to suppress to suppress role play effects. But I was doing like I'm drawing on my spiritual strength to try and be strong. But then every time I would see someone who's upset, it would just very easily came back up again. And I saw Juniper, and she came to my camp. And I just fell on her and started crying, and then she started crying because of it. Oh, it was just it was so much.
I think what broke me, as Tom, I didn't know about this at the time, is what you told me afterwards, was Twig waiting at the gate.
Oh, yeah.
So Twig can't get their head around the fact that Akir's dead because they haven't seen the body.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the same thing that happened to Sven last year. And then when I went back out again, they're like, "You're going to get Akir, right? You're going to bring him back?" And I just couldn't say anything to him. And then again, Bloodwolf was saying later, "Are you what are we going to do about Twig?" And I was like, "You can't. You just have to wait." And they just looked lost. Oh, Akir. Oh, Finn, oh my God. Very emotional evening.
Most emotional empire.
Yeah. Then I spent 24 rings on 3 beers, furious.
The economy's fucked.
Oh,
That's the true cry.
Fuming. Cried about that as well.
The enemy isn't the orcs or the heralds, it's the bloody Anvil economics.
It's inflation, yeah. I'm sure I did lots of other things that evening. I was doing stuff for my test of metal, so I did a bit of a scavenger hunt, which was good fun. But yeah, that was probably the best way to... They're the highlights of my Saturday. So I think that wraps us up for Saturday this week.
Woo, Saturday.
Thank you very much, everybody listening. It is great to be back. We hope you all also had a fantastic Empire. Crazy how close we already are to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Yes, thank you very much for listening. Please do like, subscribe, follow, download,
5-star
follow us on
review.
social media. I am legally obliged to read out every 5-star review that you release on iTunes. So on the Apple Podcast app. So if you do, fantastic. People have used it for adverts.
Yeah.
People have used it to bully me. So please do feel free. And that engagement really does help with the podcast. Same with liking and commenting on YouTube. So yes, thank you very much. If you would like to support us in other ways, we have a Patreon at Fabletop. And also, if you want to get £15 off your first Empire ticket, you can find our referral codes in the section below, which also gives us £15 off as well. But yes, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.